Hello and welcome to Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic, for the International Canoe Federation's third World Cup of the 2014 season. The famous Troja course welcomes the ICF World Cup for the 12th time since its conception in 1983. Over the weekend, 286 paddlers from 33 nations are going to be competing in the classic 5 categories. I'm Matthew Layton, and today I'm going to be joined by last year's silver medalists in the K1 Women from the World Championships here in Prague, Nuria Newman, and Olympian and finalist last week in Tachin, Mike Dawson from New Zealand. Hello.
Hello.
Morning.
So, lots of activity to go through today. Quickly, the conditions out there?
It's a beautiful day here in Prague, a little bit overcast, some wind, but it looks like it's holding up pretty well so far. A lot of people down here ready to check out this event.
Believe it or not, it is the summer, only 15 degrees. But I guess that doesn't really affect the paddlers too much.
No, once you're in the water, you just want to go fast, so you don't have time to think about how cold it is, and the wind is not annoying, so I think it should be a great final.
Mike, you live here for a bit of the time. Briefly describe the course.
Yeah, it's tough. They've made a lot of changes to the Troja course here. They've put in the new rapid block system. It's constricted the water a lot more. There's a lot more going on. It's inconsistent in some places, which makes it harder, but I think overall it's a lot better than it was in the past, and they're just tweaking it, making it better every week.
Well, that's what we want to see. As you can see, it's a fairly straight course. The first event we're going to watch is the women's canoe singles. Very many familiar names and a couple that you perhaps don't recognize, but in general they are the regular crew that turn out World Cup after World Cup and compete in the actual in the finals. Chen Cheng Teng, the first to go so far. She is on form this season. She's come third in London, or Lee Valley, just north of London, and third last weekend in Tacin, just outside Ljubljana in Slovenia. So it's going to be interesting to see how she handles the pressure. She's 21 years old. The fans are ecstatic, as you can see. Quite a lot of Czech fans here, as per usual.
Oh, Canoe Slalom is really big in Czech Republic, and it's always great to race here because you always have people that are watching you and cheering for you, and it's just good spirit.
Well, let's see how they're going to go. Basics: green and white downstream, red and white upstream, 6 upstream gates. The first one we're going to see now. Not too many challenges on this first gate we've seen in the last couple of hours, because we've had the semi-finals, so we are a little bit familiar with this course now.
Yeah, they've all done the course once, so they know the tricky places, and they will have to improve from their first run, like correcting mistakes or trying to go faster, and that's usually where you either do very well or pick up some other mistakes, but she looks really good right now.
We've seen a huge contrast between the men and the women so far in the C1s. In the men's semi-final, all but one went clear. In the women's semi-final, no one went clear. Reference time, the fastest was the young German, Lina Stocklin. She went through in 116.2 with 2 seconds penalty, so 114 seconds is the pure time.
Yeah. It's a tricky course, so I guess that the girl have to have really good line, otherwise they go on mistakes, and it's really hard to catch it up once you're offline. But I saw some of the C1 men doing like pretty big mistakes. And
yeah, the gate combinations out there look pretty tough today, a lot tougher than the qualifying yesterday. So imagine some of these C1 women were tested in the semi-final, and we're probably going to see a few more get tested in the final.
And that's the fault of Scott Parsons from the USA and Jure Priskovich Sr. from the Czech Republic, who actually designed this course.
Yeah, I think they did a good job, though. They definitely made use of a lot of the features out there, which is something that you don't often see in slalom race. In fact, all the World Cups this year have had pretty cool courses in the qualifying and in the semis.
One more upstream to go.
I mean, she's having a pretty good run, pretty smooth, only a couple touches there, so she's probably not going to be battling for the first spot, but should be in contention for a top 5 finish, I'd say, with that.
Last 35 metres, just not many people have picked up faults in 21-22. It's just sprint for the line, really.
yeah, the best time was 116, I think, from Lena. So she might not stay in the lead for too long.
As we say, last 2 outings she's been on the podium.
You are seeing in the women's C1 a lot more depth coming in there. the top girls are getting better, and they're definitely pulling the other girls up. So when you get to the top 10 stage, it's pretty competitive sometimes.
First of two Brits, Yasmin Royal. Been on the verge of the team for the last couple of seasons. In Bratislava last season, the World Cup.
Yeah, she did. She got a medal there, if I remember well.
You're doing the commentary.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I'm supposed to remember. I think she was third, and she was very happy. And it's always good to watch the young British paddlers, because whenever they do good, you can see them like very happy. But it might not happen today.
Well, you can see with that, when you can see the mistakes, that sometimes it's deceptive how hard the course actually is. And there's a lot going on the whole way down that just can knock you offline, and you can see that Jasmine's had a couple of troubles in that middle section. Britain definitely has a very strong C1 women's. Quite often they're on the podium. They're quite high ranked, the young British girls.
But they can switch about, can't they? Because Mallory Franklin, who's actually not competing this weekend, won in 2 skate, Lee Valley. Well off the time so far.
Yeah, 7 seconds down, so she's going to have to fly down the bottom part of the course. But we saw that Ting had a few problems down there, so she might be able to pull it back.
Great view from the cable cam, so you can actually see the flow of the river and where you want to be.
Yeah, I think she knows she has mistakes, and she's kind of like losing her focus and touching lots of gates on that bottom part, and she's low in gate 17. So when this kind of happens to you, you're just fighting against the current, and it's mentally really strong to keep up with your run, and she's doing okay here, but she knows it's over. It's never easy, that kind of situations.
Well, she's made the final, which is, I believe, 23, 24 girls started out at the beginning of the week, so it's a really good effort to make the final.
And you are seeing more and more girls on the start list in the World Cup, so it's cool to see that this young girl made the final as well. Ranked, I think she's ranked outside the top 40, so pretty admirable effort. Turn back to the start line, I guess we're going to see Ali Gibson coming down next, another British. She had a good run in London, I think, didn't she? She was in the final.
Yeah, she made the podium as well.
Yeah, that's I saw her on the screen there. Absolutely ecstatic that she won that medal.
She's as tough as they come. I saw her out this morning at 7:30, just wearing a t-shirt, and I was saying it's a bit cold. She's like, no, it's not.
This is my winter t-shirt.
That's just to show that she's not English but Scottish.
Absolutely, as you can see on the helmet, struggling slightly there.
I mean, because there's no wind out there today, it is pretty nice and warm once you get moving. But if you're just sitting around, yeah, it would be cold in the t-shirt, that's for sure. Just picked up a small touch there on the back of your life jacket, opting for the spin move through the centre part.
Awful lot of the girls have had problems, and the guys as well, on 6 and 7 moving across, because they're quite close, aren't they?
Yeah. 6 and 7, and also gate 11, 12. So we see that the C1 men were going forward, and the C1 women are doing a move, what we call like boogie, and it's kind of a upstream, like next to the green gate. So they get more space for the next, like to get gate 12 and 13.
But it obviously takes a couple of seconds to do, and we see them switching a fair bit here as well.
Yeah, but some of the boys like Cipresi and Fabien Lefebvre are now switching. Some girls don't, some girls do. It's supposed to be better for your strengths, because you're always more powerful on your side than on a crossbow.
It's just a shame it's not TV, because New is doing the greatest demonstration visually with your actions. Here we go.
Oh. So here she touched gate 18, which means that even if she goes up for gate 17, she already has a 50. She knows it, so she's just going straight away, not going back up to pick up the upstream gate.
It's a tough game. We saw quite a few girls earlier slipping through there, going through 16, bouncing on a 16 and slipping through a bit.
Yeah, the thing with Prague is that while the water doesn't look really big, it can get away with you when you're racing down there, because there's so much going on, and course designers know that. Yuri Preskovic Senior, he would have known where to put the gates to make sure it catches people out if they're not right on the bubble. and you can see a couple of these girls just sort of falling off the flow of the water.
Well, looks disappointed there, but again, making a final. It's every time she competes, she makes a final. It's not too bad. But we saw on the heats, didn't we? We saw some of the men, I don't know the expression, but mainly taking the course apart. They did it. Some of the K1 men got down in 78 seconds in the actual heats. This looks a bit more challenging.
Yeah, we had last week in Tarts in 110 seconds, I think, in qualifying, and then this week in Prague we had 78 seconds, so big difference between the two races.
Anna Satila, who we went interviewed a couple of days ago, she said she'd rather be, well, not rather be, sorry, but she'd quite like to be at home in Brazil with the whole atmosphere of the Football World Cup going on, but here we go. Only 18 years old, still should be on the circuit, an awful long time now.
Yeah, she was in the Olympic Games a couple of years ago in London when she was only 15 or 16 years old, I think, if I remember. And she's definitely one to watch out for in years to come.
And she just missed a gate.
Oh yeah, just missed that gate in the middle.
She touched gate 1 at the start and then like kind of went low in that second upstream and just got a 50, so...
Again, on gate number 7 that they're all struggling on.
But she's still a junior and she knows that she can just take the experience, and so she's rallying down the course and just trying to improve her skills.
So just to, in case you're wondering where for example, Caroline Loire is this weekend, what are the Frenchies doing?
The Frenchies are training in both the senior team and the under-23 team, and Etienne and me, we were allowed to go and race in Prague. We are sharing the spots on the World Cup, so everyone gets the chance to race this year. So no Frenchies will actually like play for the World Cup overall standing, or might not, but everyone gets to race, so it's good when you kind of miss French selections. Oh, she just hit the rock.
That's called the iron. Until a few years ago, the extra selection wasn't there, was it? There was just a straight rock. But then they added the extra bit on. I believe Vavra Heidelec's brother nearly drowned there a few years ago, so they decided to put on an extra bit to make it a little bit more safe.
Yeah, I think all the paddlers have like really bad stories or of being stuck on that rock, or just seeing someone stuck on that rock, and it's good that they changed it because it was pretty dangerous.
Well, not lack of respect, not talking about Anna much, but from early stages it wasn't going to happen, unfortunately, today.
Next up, we've got Ros Lawrence, the young Australian girl. She's very good and pretty experienced C1 woman paddler, paddles a lot. She's making a pretty good start. She's definitely going to be one that could lay down that 116 and maybe go into the lead.
She's saying actually in the Penrith, the under-23, she's working so hard. She lost 4 kilograms of weight and hasn't really managed to find a form since then.
Oh, I had no idea about that.
Well, that's what she told me yesterday. So I was thinking she's looking leaner and meaner and slimmer. She said it wasn't deliberate, unfortunately. But let's hope she's
really
a good
nice
one
start.
today.
Just keeping that boat moving through this middle section. 6, 7, 8 looks like a bit of the crux move out there. Really easy to get offline and pick up those touches or 50-second penalties, and she's made pretty light work of that. Big hole cross here and trying to get speed on the boat for 10. It's always hard in gate 10 to get that exit without getting sucked back into that big hydraulic there.
Yeah. And she looks good so far. She looks pretty much in form. But maybe if she needs to take up some weight, we know really good Czech restaurants. I will go and talk to her.
10 seconds effectively so far in the lead. So it's Chang Chang Teng so far with a time total of 1:33 to go for.
Like we saw before, Teng had a few problems at the bottom, so if Rosalind can hold this together, she's going to go even further into the lead. But picking up that touch there in the middle, pretty tricky move actually to jump the feature there, keep the boat dry.
She's a little bit low in that 17 upstream too, but it's hard to tell if she will be in front of Teng or not.
Barring disaster, she's going to take the first lead. But as we say, the reference point from the semi-finals that took place about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago was 1:16. So she's not going to be too far from there.
She might beat that.
Be close. I'm going to say 1:17.
And you were right.
Bang on, 1:17.19, nice. So she's slotted into first place, even with that 2-second penalty. So will it be enough?
Well, we'll have to see.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be enough for a podium, though.
Good. Well, let's hope for the Australians. If you're listening from Australia, Just Voice is going to be coming Jess Fox is going to be coming a little later. Alison Burrows, unfortunately didn't make it, so Mum and Dad, Colin and Christina, are out there. She had a few tears after the event, but then they came around quite quickly. I was speaking to her and her brother Ian just after, and Ian unfortunately missed the C1 finals as well, but apparently the parents were always listening in, so hello from Czech Republic, Julia Schmidt from Austria.
Yeah, she just got second at European Championships earlier on her home course in Vienna this season, so she's one of the C1 women to watch, definitely.
She's also spent a lot of time in Prague, so she knows the course really well. So has the potential to, well, just getting stuck up there in gate 5, nasty little cross sometimes when you get offline. So she's going to have a lot of work to do down the bottom part of the course.
Yeah, and she picked up her early penalty on the first gates too, on the downstream.
But there is plenty of space to make time back, isn't there?
Oh yeah, the bottom section is really important, so if she does like a really good like bottom section, she could definitely make up that time.
Julia actually just had a wrist injury. She fell off the chin-up bar a few weeks ago and fractured her wrist, so she's actually paddling with a fractured wrist at the moment and doing a pretty good job with it.
Well, she's slightly off the first pace, but she could still be in with a medal chance, although we do have 4 really hot athletes to go after this, so it's not over. So.
She has just picked up another penalty, like trying to exit too tight in the upstream 13. And another one, so...
You can just see when you get offline through that middle section and lose contact with the poles, it just starts to fall away, and something you'll see probably more in the men's kayak and the C1 men's final, just how quick and nippy they are around those poles.
Well, last upstream of the day to go, and she's dropped a little bit low. It's going to be exhausting, isn't it, at this stage?
Yeah, like she will do the finish sprint before the actual finish sprint to just get back in that upstream, and she will be behind Rose Lawrence. I think Rose might start to become really confident for the podium and the medal.
Well, unfortunately, Rose missed out on the K1 semi-final, so all the eggs are in the basket of the C1 today. Doesn't look like a happy young lady.
No, she's probably very disappointed with her run.
Yeah, she saw quite a few tears this morning. I was walking up and down the course, and unfortunately the athletes have to walk through everyone when they're walking back up, taking their boats up. And there was a couple of Czechs who missed the final and a few other tears. Here we go. Who's this on board now?
Hoskova.
And it's Katerina. She's a local here. I think she has probably all the kids from the club running after her because she's coaching some of the kids, and they all like her because she's really fun coach on the water, and she always go and paddles with them. So
in the World Championship, she said she was absolutely gutted because clearly in Prague last September, because she had a 50-second that she didn't actually know about the time in the semi-finals. But I saw literally about an hour ago, she was sitting in the office working with the other team members. Yuri Priskovic there as well, so they're all action in here today.
Yeah, all the athletes here are super involved with the running of the club and the running of the races, and she's also does a lot for the sport around here, and you see her down at the river pretty much every single day, just hanging out, teaching the young kids.
Well, she spent about half an hour with me a couple of days ago going out through all the names of all the little sections on the course, which we'll fill you in within a couple of minutes.
she's 4 seconds, like 3.5 seconds, like slower than Rose Lawrence, but it's including a penalty, and Rose were quite low in that last upstream, so maybe she can make up time there.
There's no doubt about the crowd, completely unfair play, and why not? They're all talking about the noise always happens when there's a Czech competitor. She did the same little hesitation in the semi-final, but still managed to come through well.
Yeah, I think it was planned, like she's doing the reverse so she can make sure that she's high in that gate 17, and it's probably faster than going forward and ending up a bit low in 17, and she's definitely saving some energy there.
Well, it looks like the crowd have got something to cheer about. The great thing about this venue is all the crowd can be gathered together along the bankside, really, really close to competitors. Time of reference to go for is 117, so she's not going to take the first place. Rose Lawrence can relax.
Yeah, she's going to drop into second, I think.
Always smiling, which is great to see.
She's happy. She'll be stoked with all the fans that have come down here to watch and cheer her on. she's always looking forward onto the next race and having good times.
Yeah, it's one of the paddlers you're always happy when you catch up with them, because they're like smiling and have always nice story to tell. So.
Nakin Chen won here. I believe it's the first time the C1 was in action in the World Cups in 2010 here, when she actually won the race. So she obviously has a bit of form. Yana Dukatova was in the race as well, but she obviously doesn't compete since the shoulder injury in this category anymore. See how she goes today.
Well, she did C1 one year, got world champion, and I think she was pretty happy with that, and not sure she will.
Well, she said actually since the shoulder operation in 2011, she plays around in C1 but won't compete.
Yeah, you see a lot of these girls double up, but more and more are becoming just basically specialists at C1, and then you're seeing an increase in the quality of the paddlers. Have you ever jumped in a C1, Nora?
Yeah, I had actually. After 10 minutes, I'm literally crying because my knee hurts. So I'd rather not do it. I'm like calling my mom to come and get me.
So far, Nakin Chen is putting together a good run. Not a baby, 30 years old now. In the world, I suppose in 2011 was the best result where she took the silver medal, so certainly has the pedigree at this level, but would be now looking for a silver medal. It looks like the way down, over 8 seconds down on the intermediate split.
Yeah, she's just got another penalty, so it's going to be hard for her to beat Rose Lawrence, but I don't know, maybe she could be
well, she's a little bit low as well. As I say, every stroke is half a second, so it's certainly tying up it a little bit.
Yes, the seconds are just slipping away at the bottom of the course, and she's going to be outside that top position for sure. And I think she'll be probably slotted to third.
Well, Julia Smith so far is at 130 seconds, so yeah, it's certainly doable to move into third place. Is doable a word?
To make
she comes.
Doable is definitely a word.
Yeah, she's ranked for now.
But she had those 6-second penalties. Without those, she would have been battling with Hoskova for the second spot. So
a sly smile from Ros Lawrence as she knows she has a medal.
Yeah, she's going to be wrapped. I mean, she's had a hard start in the K1 yesterday, missing the qualification, and now she's got a medal in the C1. So I think she's going to be pretty happy.
Now she's going to be stressing out because she's at the current leaderboard and she's watching Jess Fox run, and Jess is probably like, or for me, she's definitely the best C1 woman out there. And if she pulls out a good run, she will just kill it.
Well, last weekend in Tachin, she won by a staggering 15 seconds on this very course in the World Championships last September. 9 months ago, she won by 13 seconds. Now 20 years old, so it's she's certainly the one to watch.
Yeah, she had her 20th birthday last week in Ljubljana, but she just ran that pretty risky on gate 8, so we're going to have to see what the judges throw down there.
They've thrown a 50-second penalty. There is an appeal procedure, but
yeah, I think they will have to watch the video again because it went so fast. It's quite hard to tell.
And with the announcers, once it's on the screen, apparently they're allowed to talk about it. So it's going to be very difficult for the constable. But if you see, if it does come off, she's a fraction or 1 second ahead on the pure timing.
You know, she's definitely going fast. And I think she can manage to get high for the right upstream. She was a little bit low on that first run, but she was looking at it on the riverside for quite a long time, and she just killed it.
Well, in the heat, she was also, I believe, the fastest time in the K1, so she's certainly time-wise no problem. It's a question of what do the judges say about the 50 given.
Yeah, she was really fast in the K1, but actually it's Fiona Penny who had the fastest time yesterday.
Be a very fast time without the 50-second penalty, around 110, 109.
Contrasted look.
It looks like she doesn't really understand.
Might see the replay right here.
Yeah, and there's a appealing procedure on our screen, so you're checking the judgment. we can't really see from here. We don't have the good angle.
Not for us to give.
And the last starter, Lena from Germany.
24 years old. See what she can produce today.
She was flying on her first run. She was 1 second faster than Rosalind's second run, but the final is a total new game, so we'll have to wait until gate 22 to see if she can reproduce what she did in the semi-final or not.
I think she's from Leipzig in the eastern part of Germany, so not too far away from Prague, so I imagine she's spent a lot of time here in training camps.
As you can see on the actual scoreboard or the winners, we don't have Jessica Fox there because there's an inquiry over a given 50-second penalty. We'll have to see how that turns out.
And Lena's having a really good run at the top. Be interested to see what her split time is. She's picked up that one touch on gate number 7.
Yeah, she's one of those C1 women who are like totally on it, like charging and really paddling hard. But she just unfortunately picked up another penalty, and she's like slower than Rose Lawrence from about 6 seconds.
Does these overhead shots, would they help you with your training? Can you see lines?
We're not really used to it, so
You need to get used to it.
I need to get used to it.
The one thing from the overhead shot is when it's so high, it takes away a bit. It makes the water look very flat. So when we're using a helicopter to look at a rapid or something, it always looks a lot easier than when you drop in. Everything gets really steep all of a sudden.
Well, I'm sure technically they can actually zoom in if it works for TV. I'm not sure. Here we go.
She won challenge. Rose Lawrence lead. She dropped very low in that last right upstream.
But Lena Stockholz the third time provisionally is 1:28.
But she can go for a medal.
Here we go.
See Roz there, current leaderboard, a little smile coming onto her face.
Can't contain her emotions. Just goes into 4th place. Again, huge smile though.
I think she's pretty happy with her semi-final run and coming in on 4th. She'll be stoked.
Good, polite cheering from the local crowd.
Giving the thumbs up.
That's one thing here in Prague. The locals are really into it. A lot of the general public follow the sport and come down here just to check it out and watch the race.
Well, a great advantage of this, I suppose, is we're 5-10 minutes away from the centre, and once this new bridge is completed. Last year it was great because we could actually walk across it. This year it's clay, so it takes a bit more time to get into the centre, but it's a great location. And there are plans as well. Well, there's been plans for the last 10 years to build another course, aren't there? We'll see how that goes.
Where the team athlete area is, you can kind of see it on the right side of the shot. There's plans to build another channel that actually goes around this channel through the land there, but there's some issues with securing permits and land.
I don't know if there's official results, but the results that we see so far is given Australia, Rosalind Lawrence the gold, Czech Republic Katarina Hoskova takes the silver, and Nan Chen for China takes the bronze position.
You can see there's not much between it. It's a good tight race out there.
Well, we're waiting Nguyen Newman and Mike Dawson. Mike, how's been your disappointed, I guess, that you didn't make the final yourself?
Oh yeah, I was a bit gutted, but to be honest, I had good fun paddling out on the river. It's a beautiful course. It's a wicked city, and some parts of my run were good. Just a few too many parts were bad, so you can have Saturday free day.
Cameron, that help us out, which is ever much appreciated. And tomorrow you're going off to Norway?
Yeah, actually I catch a flight at 8 o'clock in the morning and head up to Scandinavia for a couple of weeks creeking, or 1 week creeking actually. Break from kayaking to go kayaking.
And you're competing later this weekend?
Yeah, competing tomorrow in the K1 Women's semi-final. It looks tough.
Well, it looked tough a couple of days ago when your boat hadn't arrived. Briefly tell us the story.
Basically, the people were supposed to take my boat from France to Czech Republic forgot my boat, so I had no boat while coming to the World Cup, and the French Federation had to ship it over. But I just got it like the day before yesterday, so just before the race.
Better than just afterwards, so I hope you'll sure you'll do well. Well,
yeah, no, we actually had an exhibition event on Wednesday or Tuesday evening in the centre of Prague where we did a kayak biathlon right in the middle of town. So
sounded an awful lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah, it was great, pretty hard. A lot of us hadn't done a lot of shooting, so.
It was really exciting to watch. I hope they will do it next year.
Didn't you come second?
Yeah, but I couldn't do the shooting. Targets were too hard for me.
They were at least 3 meters or maybe 4 meters away, so you have excuses.
Yeah, 4 meters to the target, so it's not far. I think biathlon.
You could almost touch them, couldn't you?
Well, the problem is that I'm not sure I was pulling the trigger properly on that pistol.
And the other thing that makes it hard is that the water's moving. So the barge with the targets on's moving, you're moving in your boat, and you're trying to hold this gun and point at a little hole.
Well, as long as you all had a lot of fun, that's the most important thing. Anything to encourage paddle sports, I guess. Here we go. This is the C1 men. It's exactly the same course, but it's a slightly different prospect. The fastest time in the women, as we saw in the semi-finals, was 1:16. The fastest time in the men was 92.19 seconds, and 9 of the top 10 men went clear. The only exception was Benji Savcek, and he can fly, so it's not a real surprise. A couple of Brits in the final. Great to see Mark Proctor, who's missed up a bit in the British trials a couple of months ago and said he hadn't been training, but was a forerunner in London doing a load of media work also. And then Thatcham, he just missed out on the semi-finals, coming 31st, and now he's just made it. Great news for him.
Yeah, I was talking to Mark yesterday actually about that, and he was pretty upset after the selection, missing the team, and had a lot of time off. And when he got the call to come to these races, he wasn't sure because he hadn't been training and that. But obviously he's still on good form. He's sitting there in the top 10, and I know that yesterday in the qualifier he got a touch off to get in the top 30. So he's scraping in. Maybe he'll be able to step it up and just get one of those medals.
Well, he's not shy on the Twitter, and he actually came on a few minutes after that saying, "Phew, one went in my favour." He was actually a really annoying fellow Brit, because I asked him on Thursday night, there's obviously a football World Cup going on in England, we're playing against Uruguay, and I said to him and Joe Clark, who's going to win? And Joe Clark said England, of course, and Mark said, no, he's not. Unfortunately, Suarez is going to score a hat-trick, and Uruguay are going to win. He's a massive Liverpool fan, and Suarez plays for Liverpool. Unfortunately, as we saw, or fortunately for Uruguay, the rest is history, but he's pretty good at predicting what's going on. Anyway, that's just a by story. We've got some big names here well in the finals. Fastest in the qualifications, David Florence, who won a couple of weeks ago. Slavkovskis, who's always there. Elisegi, who sometimes is brilliant, other times he misses the mark. Martikan, who again, 5 Olympics. Benush, Sošek, who won last weekend. We have the double pair of Anton and Benzian. Anyway, first to go, Mark Proctor, 25 years old. Birthday 23rd of December. Let's see how he goes without having to train.
He's just picked up a penalty in that first upstream, so I'm not sure if he will be able to hold it together, but I think he has the experience, and even if he didn't make the team this year, he's used to racing. Oh, that was
let's see if it's
really tight on gate 7. I don't know what the judges will say, but
Mike, sorry, the rule is on that you have to do what to get avoid a penalty, 50 penalty?
Yeah, you got to have well, actually I don't know specifically the rule, but I should maybe.
Perfect.
I think you got to get a part of your head, or maybe your whole head and part of your boat and the gate at the same time.
Definitely the whole head.
Whole head, yeah, okay, so it's your whole head.
That's maybe why you had a 50 yesterday.
Yeah, I leave it up to the judges to decide what I'm doing, if what I'm doing is right. But
anyway, let's watch Mark.
Yeah, he hasn't been awarded that penalty, so maybe our camera angle was just totally bad.
There's now the 2-second penalty certainly going on there, though. Let's see his reference point. That's called the jaw, that big section down there under the bridge. Let's see how he goes.
I think with the stacked final, it's not going to be enough to stay on the podium, but if he doesn't have any 50-second penalties, he might climb up a few spots.
Looks like there's another penalty going to come on. Let's see if it does. He's slightly down there. Yes, 6 seconds of penalties. And I'd say 9 out of the top 10, maybe with different pressure on in the semi-final, didn't have a fault.
No, the fastest boys were in 93, I think, earlier in the semi-final, so this won't be enough.
What was interesting, I was talking to Stan Jezik, he was talking about some camera angle problem about 20 minutes before his forerun. He's one of the forerunners here, and obviously a major organizer, and he was just going blah, blah, blah. He said, damn, I have to run and be on the course. And he went around really relaxed, no penalties in 94 seconds. So this shows what can be done.
Yeah, Jezic's super talented as well. He paddles here, I guess his whole life he's paddled here, so knows the course well. He's probably done every one of these combinations 100 times.
And since I think Lucas Rowan and another Czech C1 didn't make any final on the World Cup, he will have another chance to make the team for the World Championships. So they will have another selection in July.
Yeah, apparently someone was explaining to me it's very complicated but very fair.
Yeah, just make sure that the best guys are going to the races and the guys that are on form are going to the races. And Gibas, he's really quick here. He was battling really well in the Czech selections a few months ago, and he's having a pretty good World Cup, but he's picked up a touch there on the third gate upstream.
It's interesting, isn't it? He actually made the final in London in Lee Valley, coming in 10th place.
And you can just see how well he knows this water, really smooth across there, using the back of the hole to set up for this move.
Well, we saw an extraordinary advantage in Lee Valley and Tatson for the locals. Is this the case here, or is it so fast that everyone can get down?
Yeah, I think the locals do have a lot of knowledge, and you saw last year at the World Champs they went 1-2, and by quite big margins. But it is at the same time it's pretty difficult to perform when you've got a couple thousand people here just cheering for you.
We'll see how they cope with it. But a good pressure to have, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the thing is the crowd want you to do really well, so they're not here to see you do badly. So it's not really pressure at all. They just want to see you do what you can do. He's picked up a couple of touches, but he's actually ripped in a really quick run. So see what the time comes in. It's 51 seconds up on that halfway split.
Yeah, which means Mark Proctor got given a 50 in gate number 7.
There we go. It's not going to be not far off the decent morning times.
So the fastest semi-final time was
92.19. So it's a bit off that.
Well, with those 4 seconds of penalties, it's going to push him down the list, but pretty fast run time. Would be on the mark, I think, if he was clear.
These are quite smart little handy things if you see them, because they're actually they're very small little programs, and you open them up, and one side is the program, the other side is a lovely red thumb or hand. They've been giving out today. So
the problem is if you hold it on the wrong side, you can just give the thumbs down, and it's like not so nice.
Like the Roman Empire, shall he live or not?
It's good that the Czech supporters are really nice and play it fair, because otherwise they might.
Well, so far the welcome's been fantastic. It's been a very, very partisan crowd. They obviously prefer their locals, but they give polite applause if there's no local on the podium. Franz Anton, a very good amateur, maybe semi-professional photographer. He's part of the pairing that we'll see a bit later in the C2s. Hasn't managed to. I don't think he's managed to make a final so far this season, although they did make a silver position in the C2 in London.
He's a really talented German guy. He's training with Jan Benzing, who we're going to see starting next in the final. So they're both pushing each other along. He's picked up an early 2-second penalty. It looks like maybe gate 3 is slightly low, because there's been a lot of touches going on there.
Well, I saw them out at 7:30 this morning, measuring as precisely as possible, but I guess things might change.
I wonder if they might have like lower down that gate number 3, because so far like the 3 first competitor have touched that gate. So.
Well, at least you both agree. Here we go, slightly off the split at the moment. We actually are linked, but sometimes the thought pattern needs examining.
See him getting a little bit wayward down there in the big stopper and the little stopper. These two uniquely named rapids at the bottom of the course.
Yeah, I don't know the names of the stoppers. They're too small to.
Well, I say the whole concept is called the jaw.
He's just shooting past the teeth, the characteristics for those big concrete things sticking out into the middle of the river that actually make the rapids. Battling well, so 98. He's not gonna challenge Gibas's time, but not a bad run. Just a couple of touches that's gonna push him down the list. And next up, we've got his buddy Jan Benzing, the Leipzig local. He's running a kayak rental place and kayak school and shop in Leipzig. So you often see him on the phone sorting out stuff at home. He's married to Mandy Planet, who used to be a pretty amazing women's kayaker back in the day.
Actually, that first upstream doesn't look too low from the slow-mo replay. So maybe the guys are just trying to attack and go too fast, touching it.
If you're wondering where we are, possibly not, but we're right near the finishing line. We've got a lovely little box, I suppose. We've got the TV, so you can actually see right at the course with our eyes. We've got the TV, and obviously have a touch screen, so we can keep in touch with the penalties given and the faults.
Benzing's making a flying start, actually.
And he's the first not touching gate number 3.
And a lot of people are commenting that he has a similar style in the C2 or C1. It doesn't change much for him.
Nah, he's a really strong paddler. He's attacks from the start to the finish, so it's really exciting canoeing to watch. See him here, he's just making light work of that tricky combination. He can stay off the poles. I think it's going to be a really fast run. And last year at the World Champs, I think he had a great result. He's often pretty good in Prague.
Yeah, Ross Lawrence were a little bit complaining about her form. I don't think Jan Benzen ever complains about not being in shape. And
well, he's so far up on the split, 3.5 seconds up on the split so far.
He's having a flyer. He's getting that red canoe going.
Just missed out on the final in London, coming 13th.
Super tight in those offsets. I think so far he's doing a really, really good run.
Through the jaw section, getting caught up there. Just staying off the poles.
Just avoid the touch.
Comes past
that
the
was
iron
tight.
and into the last up of the day that I don't think they've given a name to it.
Gate 20. Crushing gate 20 and making a flying finish.
It looks like he's going to be up on the timing. He's got a few seconds to play with. It is a long stretch though.
It's
very close. Moves into provisional first place. Not sure. Is it tired or just reflection, or could be better?
Yeah, I think he'll be disappointed with the exit he had down there in the jaw section around gate 16, 17. So it definitely cost him a second or two because he was over 3.5 up on Gibas there. And next up we've got Savsek Benny from Slovenia, super talented, very smooth paddler.
And won last week.
And he won last week.
On his home course.
Yeah,
the Slovenians are really fast in touch, and that's crazy.
Yeah, you watch Benny in training and he runs really extreme combinations and makes them look so easy and so smooth, and you can watch him paddling now. He just looks like he's cruising down the course, but the amount of power and pressure he puts on this paddle just keeps the boat speed on.
Good season. He came 6th, I believe, in the Europeans. In Lee Valley was 4th, and obviously last weekend took the gold medal, so he's certainly on a good vein of form.
Yeah, he's just super technical, keeps the boat really flat, and not sure if we saw the gates swinging up there.
Yeah, he just picked up a penalty in this offset, but he can go really fast. I just pick up the second one.
Well, he's going to have to go really fast. Jan Benzin, although he struggled on the jaw with 16-17, he was clear.
Oh, picked up the third one.
Well, he's only 5 seconds down, so in theory he's 1 second off the pace.
Yeah, I think with 3 penalties, it's going to be a tough ask for him to make that time up at the bottom. But I mean, it's still open.
Still open, but many big names are coming afterwards. So we have world champions, Olympic champions, European champions.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the start list for the final; it's pretty stacked, very stacked.
Good way to be. Here he comes, one more up to negotiate, and the time reference is 95, so he's not too far off it. It's a long home straight though, isn't it?
Very fast run, he clocked in at 89.
Not too far off it, actually under it. But again, they're all leaving something.
First position.
Yeah, they're all leaving something there. There's no huge delight.
He did a really good bottom section because he...
Well, he was physically 6 seconds faster than Jan Benzian because he took 6 seconds of penalties. So it just shows that at time you can... He came down in 89 seconds, which is the fastest we've seen by 3 seconds today.
Yeah, I think 89 is it's up there with the men's kayak times. The fastest was 88 in I think 88, 87 in the semi-final. So it's pretty amazing to see a C1 throw down the the third fastest time of the day. Actually, that's not the third fastest, but up there.
Live coming to you from the side of the course.
Matej Beniš, Slovak lad. I saw him here training a few weeks ago. He's really looking forward to having a good result here, and he's put himself in good contention, being in the final.
I saw him yesterday in the cafeteria feeding his young child very diligently, which was good to see. There's quite a few of the canoeists. Alexander Slavsevsky's got his baby here as well. They've come along with the family.
Yeah, it's a trend you're seeing as the guys get older. Everyone seems to be having kids.
Maybe the ICF we have to organize a kindergarten on the World Cups.
It would be. There's a fair few. I've seen an awful lot of little youngsters, which puts a smile on everyone's faces. And you go see how he's going. 2 seconds penalty so far.
So Matej actually missed the Worlds team this year for the first time since I've known him. So yeah, he's definitely looking to be good in these World Cup races, as they're going to be his only races for the
well up on the split so far. 2 seconds of penalties, 1.64 seconds up. So I say it's an open race, but there's 4 competitors to go after, and they're real top-notch competitors. So he really has to put something down. And there's another twitch, I believe. 4 seconds so far.
But we saw Slavsek go into the lead with 3 touches.
Slovaks have only really good C1. It's crazy to see that Matej Beniš is not in the team, but he's just killing it. Not sure if he will be in front.
This is going to be fairly close, but just outside.
Just outside.
Well outside in the end.
I think Benjamin Slavsek was just flying on that bottom part.
Yes, to reconfirm, he came down at 89.59 seconds. That's probably not a mistake.
Yeah, it's a super fast time, and Matej was 1.5 seconds up at the top split, and just let it slip away at the bottom. So it just shows how quick Benny was. Next up, we've got the legend Michal Martikin, also Slovak boy. He's won 5 Olympic medals.
Bronze 2 weeks ago, silver 1 week ago. Let's see if he can go any better. His bronze performance in Lee Valley, he said, was terrible. Let's see how he went. Very, very fast in the last section last week in the big water at Tadson.
I wouldn't like to interview Martikin at the end of this race, because even when he gets a medal, sometimes he's just really disappointed. So you never really know what to expect.
Each one has their own standards. But at least he does accept doing the interviews, which is great. So thank you very much.
He's a super technical paddler. He's had a few troubles with injury, I've heard, over the last few years, but he's definitely back on form. See the wind just picking up, a few of the gates starting to move, and it looks like he might have picked up a touch up the top there. But it hasn't come up on our scoreboard, so...
No, nothing up there yet. We can actually see the winds blowing because our little commentary box has started to wobble. Hopefully the foundations are setting nicely. We might go for a swim. 7.7 seconds, 7.1 seconds up, that's enormous.
Don't worry, I had the big lunch. We won't be flying anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 7.5 seconds up, man. He's having an absolute flyer. He's definitely back on fine form.
And that's without penalty so far, so he's a second faster than Benji Slavsek.
And he's doing a good bottom so far. Just fitting his style and the boat is moving forward on every single stroke, even when he's like...
Are we witnessing one of the great classic runs?
Yeah, I think he's going to easily go into the lead. This is going to be challenging that fast time from Benny. He lost a little bit in the last upstream, just dropping low,
but no penalty, so...
Very fast. 91.4 seconds up at the end, but he doesn't look happy.
At least he's consistent. What a great performance.
I'm definitely glad I'm not doing this interview. Here was your run.
Yeah, but I admire these people so much that they actually are prepared. They know they can't explain how they want to in English, but they all play the game, which is great to see. I just have to get my Chinese a bit better because that's one of the last challenges to conquer. But to keep your motivation going, he's an Olympic champion at the age of 17, won his first medal in the Worlds in 1995. How do you keep it going for so long?
Well,
Yeah.
I think if you love the sport, and I think Martin really enjoys what he's doing, and then it's easy to go training every day because you're just doing what you love, and it's probably the best job in the world.
Great answer. And Elesegui, everyone says he's incredibly talented, volatile, would that be a word?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he showed it on his semi-final run. He had a run, and because he was in the first to go, he wasn't even sure it would be enough to make it to the final, and is like in the last top 3 athletes to go, and so I guess he knows he can improve with semi-final run, and depending on how fast he goes, but he could maybe challenge Martigan's best time.
He's been around for a long time, as we've often documented and often said. He was 4th in Beijing, he was 4th in London, but still only 26 years old, so they've got another long time, maybe a couple more games in him yet, or maybe more.
Yeah, it must be pretty brutal to be the 4th place at the Olympic Games, 2 Olympics in a row. But he's still here, he's still hanging in there, still training hard. So.
And 1.9 seconds down. Oh, well, that's not what we want to see. But you can whack the gate as hard as you like, it's still a 2-second penalty.
And now it might be tricky to challenge Martigan, but he could definitely get into 2nd position.
Yeah, he's picked up another 2-second penalty. This run's slipping away a bit. But you see Gibas he's in 4th spot with the 96.73, so if he can stay under 95, which actually it's not going to happen, is it?
Not the day today, but again...
Oh, and Martigan's had a touch added on, so he's dropped back to 93.56.
But has, again, there is credit in making the final.
He's biting his paddle.
He's been told by the PR people not to break anything, no doubt, so he's just keeping it in edge. But yeah, as you mentioned, Michael Martigan doesn't affect the results so far as it stands. He's been given a 2-second penalty, so his time now goes up to 93.56, which is just slightly ahead, 300ths of a second, I believe, ahead of Benji Soshek. If you're ahead, you're ahead.
So Martigan's guaranteed a medal for the 4th weekend in a row with the Europeans in the first 2 World Cups and now today. And we've got another Slovak, Alexander Slavkovsky. He's just had a young child last year. So
he's the current European champion too, so the season started well for him. And
came so far 6th in Lee Valley, 6th in Tatson.
And he's looking good so far.
he also had the medal here last year in Prague, so he knows the course really well.
As contrasting to Mr. Martigan, Alexander's always available, always smiling, always happy to give a quote. Great to see.
Oh. He just picked up a touch, but he can go really fast.
Well, he's going to have to today because we've seen a couple of really, really fast times. Well, let's see where he is on the split.
That's super tight.
1.64 seconds, so he's still in it at this stage.
Yeah, still in touch, even with his touch, so it might.
I wonder if the split is with a new added time for Martigan. We'll have to see.
He's definitely in touch there, and
whoa!
If he saved it, that was great.
Some radical paddling there, just shows how talented this fella is.
You can see the best paddlers, whenever it goes wrong, they always like have good reflex and manage to try to save everything. Like
reference time is 93. It's going to be outside.
Yeah, I think with 2 touches he'll be off the medals.
I thought I saw half a smile from Martigan there.
Half of a smile.
So he's got that silver medal. There's only one man left to come down. That's Dave Florence, and the reigning world champion here in Prague. And he's having a good season, I think, so far.
Well, he won in London, and then didn't quite happen for him in the final last weekend in Tatson. He was 8th or 9th. Yeah, he came 9th last weekend, but always positive, great ambassador for the sport. Parents who I mentioned didn't make the trip last week. They've done a lot of kilometres already here today. That's George and Jill sprinting uptown every time there's a British competitor.
It's definitely a great guy, Dave Florence, super positive, always willing to lend a hand and have a chat. And also has the ability to pull it out when it counts and deliver some amazing runs.
Well, hopefully we have some good stories when they talk about the C2s, because Richard Hounslow, his pairs partners, also made it into the final first time for a while in the K1, so it's a very busy weekend. Let's see how he goes. In the heats, he did the first run, he was the fastest, sat out of the second run. Then in the semi-finals, as we see, the results were 92 seconds so far. So if he does exactly the same as he did in the finals, semi-finals, he'd win.
And I think he has the ability to do a very similar run. He maybe even go faster.
Yeah, he looks really aggressive on the water, so...
What makes him just so good?
Everything. No, it's hard. He's physically is super strong. Technically, he's got all the key elements in his hand, and I think he's strong in his head, so he's able to pull out the runs no matter what.
That's interesting. It's 1.3 seconds off the pace because he was just given a 2-second penalty at the split time point, which has been incorporated. So he's still in touch, less than 1.5 seconds down. This is going to be a real case of...
I mean, Dave's incredibly fit, and he's going to attack the bottom part of the course. Just losing a little bit of time when he dropped in low in the last upright, gate 17. But there's quite a gap between first and second, so can definitely still slob into the medals.
As we mentioned before, first place 93.5, third place 95.64. Let's see how he's going to go. It's going to be close.
Second place.
Second place.
He looks happy.
As always, he always waves to the crowd. Great appreciation there. But it looks like Martikan, bronze in London, silver in Tatson, and gold today.
The performer always knows how to pull it out on the day. Martikan.
Martikan is a legend in the sport. Like, there's a French joke, and we used to call him God. So, him and Tony.
Well, Tony Estanguet obviously retired. I remember watching his run in Po in 2012, which was like 6-7 seconds ahead of the others, and it was like, wow.
Wow, it was just crazy. It was faster than the K1 men almost, or at the same time.
And there was for almost 15 years a pretty full-on rivalry between Estanguet and Martikan. Basically, those two were just going 1-2 in every single race. Olympics, Worlds, Europeans.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope for the Newsters there's a few fast guys coming through.
And Sasho just got a 6th position again.
Well,
I really hope he will get his revenge soon.
Here we look, confirmation of the results. Michael Martikan for Slovakia takes the gold. David Florence for Great Britain takes the silver, and Benji Sošek for Slovenia takes the bronze medal.
So Benny's had two medals from 2 weekends. I'm not sure how he went in London a couple of weeks ago.
He came 4th.
4th place, so he's definitely on form. And with 3 penalties, man.
So he was the quickest pure time today by significantly by 2 seconds, if it's correct. Next event, I suppose that we've got it's the K1 men. We've got Mike Dawson missed the final, Molmenti missed the final, Dorfler missed the final, and Dye missed the final. It's quite a few top athletes not making it through today.
And K1 men is always a tough game.
I asked you to predict who was going to win 2 weeks ago, and you told me all 10 competitors, so we won't go through that game today.
No, we will avoid bets. We've been having a lot of bets this week with Mike, and we were not really successful.
That's good for strength of depth.
I was successful. Noria was not really successful.
Well, there you go.
I think you're going to see a red-hot final, I think, in the men's kayak. You've got some big names in there. You've also got some people that are not often in the final, and some guys that know how to lay it down, especially in Prague. I mean, Yuri Preskovic is going to be one to watch. Beat Prindish. Schmolen, Michael Schmolen, the under-23 world champion. He had a flying first run. I think it was 88 seconds clean, and he has the ability to perform again. 2 German boys in there. They're always tight contenders. I think Hannes has been in every final this year, and in the World Cup last year he was as well in every final.
But was not one of the top 3 in the German trials.
No, Hannes was actually on the outside of the team. He's in the fourth boat, but because they've got good world ranking, he's able to come and race in the World Cups, but unfortunately he won't be coming to America to race off for the World Championships.
And Paul Buckerman completely missed his rank, I think number 5 in the world, and he completely missed it because Mr. Grimm has come back into the scene.
I mean, a team like Germany, you've got so many really good competitors, and I mean, Grimm's in 3rd place. He's not been around for a while. He's been trying to fight back onto the team since he won the Olympic gold. You got Hannes and Schubert that you see in 3rd and 4th place there. You got Bockelman, top 5 in the world. So one of the toughest teams, I think, to make.
And they train often together, so they pull each other and
push each other along all the way.
Out. It's
well, we've had 2 events so far. This is right down the bottom of the course, looking up, and it's going to be, as we've been talking about for the last 3 or 4 minutes, it's the kayak, so they're sitting down, and it's going to be the K1 men's final. The names who've missed out, Etienne, who was called up, Etienne Dyer was called up at the last couple of minutes, didn't quite manage to put it together.
No, he had a few mistakes, and you know, K1 men, they're all going so fast that he was not in the top 10. But I think it's the first final for Martin Hermans, who's from the Netherlands. And Ben Auer just made his first final last weekend in Tatsen, and he's just in the final again. So
really interesting to see the new ones. Martin Hermans, 22 years old. In Tatsen, he was 20th. In the Worlds last year, he was 43rd. And in 2009, so 5 years ago, from memory, he was 44th. So yeah, he's definitely here to have some fun. Look at Richard Hounslow, one of 2 Brits in the final. It's a while since Richard has actually made a final in the K1, but he does have some good pedigree going back many, many years. He decided not to compete last week in Tatsen because he was selected for the C2, but not for the K1, so he did other things. But it's good to see him, back, and probably we're going to be seeing them in the C2 tomorrow.
Yeah, well, they're the reigning world C2 champs with Dave Florence. Well, he is with Dave Florence.
Remember, so far everyone's managed to keep their thumbs up. There you go. That's what I was talking about a few minutes ago. Everyone's happy. Here we go. Richard Hounslow. As again, it's exactly the same structure, layout, gates, 6 upstream, 22 gates in all, as we saw for the last 2 events. You want to see one thing?
It's going to be interesting to see the times they get thrown down in the final, because the Czech boys, I wonder if they can go faster than they did in the first run, and also if other people are going to be pushing it harder.
And I wonder if Rich can go faster than his C2 mate, actually.
Well, it certainly is going to be a goal today.
He's having a good start, really nice and smooth up the top, keeping the boat speed on, conserving energy that he's going to need for the bottom. Nice and tight around gate 10.
Now looks like he's having a good run so far, and might be the time to watch.
Super tight on gate 12.
Looks like
too tight on gate 13, and I think he's just picked up a 2-second penalty.
There's a 50 they've given him.
Or
Yeah.
50.
Gate 13 is one of those gates you can really pin if you get in the right place, but that's the risk you take, as you might pick up a 50-second penalty.
Well, it's 52 seconds so far. I say it can be an appeal.
I think he's going to be out of contention with this run, but it's good to see Rich in the final. He's a super talented kayaker, and spending a lot of time in the C2 as well. It's good to see someone attacking in both disciplines.
And I think it would have been a fast run without the 50.
I was just checking on the screen a couple of seconds ago to see if the result changed at all in the C1 women, and it looks like Jess Fox was given a 50, which according to my information hasn't come off, so it's confirmed, I guess, that Ros Lawrence takes the gold.
We've got the young Dutch boy starting next. I'd say this is his first final.
Well, that's what we believe.
Be interesting to see how he goes. Obviously had a great semi-final run. It's good to see the Dutch guys stepping up, because they've been missing for a few years after Robert Bolton. He was really talented, but he retired a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and I know that the Dutch paddler are struggling with the founding, so Martin Hermans just did a crowdfunding system to get some money for his racing season.
Well, this will do him no harm at all today, so come on, Martin, give us your best.
So it looks like it's paying off. And it's
Really
nice.
tight in and out gate 3, staying off the poles.
Using the water.
Just dropping a little bit low there. I think you're going to see the top guys at the end just hitting that on the sweep stroke, right underneath the pole. But he's staying off the poles and he's keeping the boat moving. Super fast through 789, and this is one of the coolest moves on the course. Big hole surf across. Really
and
smooth.
tight here.
He's paddling well. He's definitely doing himself proud out there.
Two seconds on, but still, well, just off the time of Richard Hounslow. But as we saw, Richard Hounslow was given a 50.
And he just nailed the upstream 13. I think he's doing a great job so far.
Great cheering from the crowd as well. They appreciate a good run.
Yeah, they know what a good run is here, and they're seeing one right now. He's pushing towards the finish. It's going to be. I think he'll move up a few spots. Not sure it's going to contest the medals though. Just losing a few seconds here and there.
It's definitely taking good experience, and I think it's always good to experience finals and prepare for some other races. Would have been a 91 plus 93.
Well, it's great to be in the final. It's slower than the top pure time on the C1s by over 2 seconds.
Yeah, you saw that time of Benny was amazing. It was a beautiful run, really good. Just the touches kind of got in there. But we're going to turn our eyes to the screen. You're going to see Joe Clark coming down soon. He was a finalist last year at the World Championships here.
Came 6th with it. Yeah, that's right. Came 6th last weekend. He many of the top athletes took a 50 at the top of the course, including himself. But in London, he came 11th. So just missed the final there. So maybe he has a point to prove. Looking really determined.
Yeah, and Joe's a really dynamic paddler. He's definitely one to watch. He's got these new radical techniques pretty much dialed. So I'm hoping we're going to see something something that will blow our minds right now.
Well, let's hope we do. Here we go.
So he lives in London, trains on the Lee Valley course. You see him throwing his boat in there, in and out. He's paddling the new Tic Tac. It's just a newly designed kayak that he designed along with Boris Neveu, a French guy. So looks like he's loving that boat.
How much does it cost a bit like that?
A boat like that?
If I wanted to buy one today?
Probably a little bit less than 2,000.
Okay, so it's affordable. Is he dropped slightly low there?
He's lost a bit of time on the cross, but he's staying off the poles, and you saw the first two guys in the final both had touches. They had trouble in this move. Oh no, he's going to go below.
Is that?
No, he's just going back up for the gate, but he would lose probably like 6-7 seconds.
Well, he was a second up on the split, so let's assume he's about 5 down at the moment, but crucially he's clear.
Yeah, that's the thing, these guys are pushing it so tight and trying to run these hard moves really straight to keep the boat speed on.
There's no glory in coming 7th or 8th. You want to come top or not. Oh, there's another problem.
And that's the thing, even if you try and go slow, sometimes it's worse than just attacking the course. It's good to see him in the final though.
Well, you need to play to go as fast as you can and try to get a medal. So if you try to go slowlier and then just mess out and place 4th, it's even worse.
Well, Joe Clark, not his day today, but waves to the crowd. It's always good to make a final. You happy with your performance last week, Mike? You made the final?
Yeah, I was stoked. I was really happy to make the final, and it's always a good experience in Tarts, and the crowd there is amazing, and the venue's amazing, and sure it would have been great to be in this final, and you can see that everyone that gets to the finish, even if they're a little bit upset, it's always good to be able to contend for the medals. And Hermans is sitting in the lead, so he's current race leader. Good time.
Next to go is 24-year-old Ben Hayward, which I think we mentioned a few minutes ago. This is his second final in a row, his second final in his career, and I spoke to him on it about just before we came on air, and he was still buzzing. He's saying he can't believe how happy he is.
Yeah, Ben's one of the guys. He's super positive. Always keen for a chat, and I know that last week in Tartan he was buzzing that he could race the final, and 2 from 2, so he's going to be so happy here.
And he said he likes to, the risk analysis is, well, you're in a final, so you may as well go for it.
Guys, it's one of those guys that take all the risks, and it's either fast or just a carnage. So let's see if he can hold it. At least he's pulling out a great show for us to watch.
2-second penalties so far. That was picked up on gate number 3. As you say, a lot of people have been picking up penalties on gate number 3 so far.
Super radical. But sometimes it's impressive, but sometimes it's definitely not the fastest way you can get the gates.
And leaving up to the judges to decide on gate 11. But so far nothing's come on, and he's up on the split by nearly... Ooh, that's going to be difficult.
Yuri Praskovic just did the same thing on his second qualification run yesterday.
You hear the crowd really getting behind him. They want to see something special down the bottom.
It's great to see.
I mean, he's spent a lot of time in Prague over the years, so he's a bit of a local expat.
Yeah, and when you're...
As you see, it's been given a 50, so it's not going to threaten the fast times.
When you're having a hard times here in Prague, it's really cool because the crowd is cheering on you. Last year during our team race, one of the French girls swam, and we were basically sitting in the eddy and didn't know what to do, and the crowd was just like shouting. So we continued and wouldn't even be disappointed just because of this amazing crowd.
Great stuff.
Been there a little bit upset after his run.
Maybe recent expectations have become a little bit higher, which is great. Poland have it's great. It's amazing that it's a Polacek who's not in the final. 4 of the brothers and 2 sisters competing. So we have a Polish Dariusz Popiela, who's 27 years old. Hasn't made a final for a little bit of time, I don't think.
No, I spoke to Darius earlier in the week, and he was really excited to try and do something special here today, that he was upset with the earlier World Cups. And he's been playing around with his paddle length to get it right for this week. It seems to have worked, so see what he can do. Making light work of those first 3 gates.
I was dropping a little bit low, but definitely keeping the speed.
Well, so far we've seen them all really go for it, haven't they? No one's been conservative.
No, but I don't think you can be conservative in the K1 men. You just have to give it all and see what happens.
And we've got some real flyers to go. Next up is going to be Jure Priskovic Jr. Let's see how he goes.
But right now it's Darius. He's on a clean run, and just picked up a 2.
But it's
very
still
risky.
up on the split though.
They're just waiting on the decision on gate 12. It's pretty tight there, but
He picked up another penalty.
it's one of the fittest guys on the circuit. Really strong, really tough. So he should be able to have a good bottom section.
It's still in touch. The time to go for the... Well, the bronze medal is way open. That's 1:45, but realistically, silver is 98 and gold, as we said, is 93.82. So it's not going to be too far off.
You're going to see Martin Herman still sitting in the leading position. He's looking that smirk's turning into a smile.
5 competitors gone, 5 to go, and you're in the lead. What a great feeling, I guess.
3 more have 50s or penalties. He's gonna get a medal.
Next to go was silver medalist in the World Championships, last year. How does it feel to be a silver medalist when your compatriot wins gold? Yeah.
Me, I was just really happy, you know. I wasn't really expecting anything, and I was just trying to get my run and touch 3 gates, and I got silver. I was like, wow.
And then you jumped in when Emily came, and great pictures of taking of that.
Yeah, it was shallow. Someone tried to told me, but I was already like jumping.
There we go. He survived, which is the most important thing. Hasn't made a final so far this season, although he did make the final and win the Europeans in Vienna a month ago. There's going to be a lot of noise around here. Still only 21 years old. And again, helps out a lot in the office. He's sitting there just before the race.
And he's going for it. Super tight. But got given a penalty in gate number 2 already. So he needs to go really fast. And he is.
It's both super dry. You just see how quick he is, and he's able to perform when it counts every time.
Well, for the last 2 years now, he's been the European champion. 2-second penalties between CC. I'm sure he's going to be up at the split.
He knows exactly what he has to do.
Yeah, 1.84 seconds up. The noise absolutely deafening in front of him.
You can hear the ground shaking from the crowd actually right here in the commentary box. He's going fast, and only with that one touch on gate 2.
Oh.
And he's pushing hard. He wants this. He wants this for the crowd.
Reference time, as we say, 93.82.
And he's tight on gate 20. I think it might take the provisional lead.
Well, it looks like it. Yeah, 3.47 seconds, but not sure about he's going to win. But say thank you very much to the
crowd.
To the noise, yeah. It's difficult to know whether you actually watch the crowd or you look at the camera.
Actually, it's not really fun for Hannes Egner, because when you start after a check, there's just so much noise, and when you're about to start, it's just feeling very quiet.
Well, he's an Olympic medalist, so I guess he knows how to handle the pressure. You appreciate that, Mike? You appreciate the skills that he has there?
Yeah, Yuri's super talented here. I love watching the Czech guys training. They're just so dynamic around the poles, and they can do it pretty much every single time, whereas a lot of other people try it, and the consistency's just not there. And it's always good when the hometown boy wins the race and becomes the hero. So
that's Fox Junior, Fox Senior.
We'll see if the Germans can unseat the Czechs.
Hannes Egner, as you mentioned a couple minutes ago, still only 25 years old. Lee Valley came 4th in the Worlds here last year, came 5th.
I mean, Hannes has been in every World Cup final for the last year and a half. Super consistent. And like we said before, he just missed out on that, that 3rd boat in the German team, which would be hard, but he's definitely paddling well.
And crucially, he's clean at this stage.
He's clean, and the boat is moving fast, so doesn't look as radical as your Praskavek, but they have total different paddling style, and he is faster. And that was pretty good looking.
There's quite a few applause, the fans of the sport, mixed emotions here.
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of Germans in the crowd because we're not far away from Germany. They come out to watch the boys. Oh, he's very, super fast down the bottom. He's on a flyer as he comes through the teeth section of the course into that last gate 20.
That was good. I think he will probably take the lead.
Well, 90 seconds is the time to go for. It's going to be significantly under that.
Oh, the time's not stopped. 87.16. 3 seconds up. I think that's going to be a tough time to beat, but we've still got two hard competitors coming down. Vit Prindish next.
No, 3.
3 to go.
Sebastian and Michael Smoland is a as we all know, he won the under-23 Worlds a couple of months ago, and in the last year or so he's been putting through some amazing times in qualification. Just couldn't quite hold it together in the final. But Sebastian Schubert is last year's overall World Cup winner and is another flyer. Fabian Dorfler had an amazing time, but unfortunately for him, he took 4 seconds penalties. That's why he's not in the final today. I think he came down at 89.
89 with 4 seconds of penalties.
No, so plus his penalties.
Oh, plus his penalties. Be interesting to see what Sherby can do. He had a medal last week in Tartzen.
Took the bronze medal. In the Europeans, he came 8th. But in the Worlds here, he didn't do what he potentially could do. I think he came 35th.
Yeah, he just pedalled past the last gate by accident.
He had a really good run and messed up like the really bottom part, which was not really hard, but just losing focus.
Yeah, we saw that. There's no reason why he missed it. He just missed it.
Yeah, he just rushed to the finish line, and it was before that really fast, a really amazing run. So he's picked up a 2-second penalty in gate 3. I think that's probably the most hit gate today.
That was very, very tight.
They're getting radical on gate 10.
It looks impressive, but it's probably not as fast as what Hannes Hagner can do.
Well, as you see, it's 6 seconds off the pace now, so he's really going to have to do something special to even get on the medal table. The top medal, a third medal, the Dutch Martin Hermans was 6 seconds off the fastest time, so there's still potential. It looks like he's hit another gate.
And a 50-second penalty there, so it's all over.
And he knows it.
So Hermans is still in 3rd spot. He's going to have a really good result here. 2 to come, so he's definitely top 5.
And we do have a German medalist. Hannes Hagner has picked up another medal. Vit Prindis has been extraordinarily fast in the last couple of months.
Yeah, Vit's having a great season. He's training really well, and he's showing that when he turns up to the races, and he's in a good headspace. So I saw him warming up earlier for the semi-final and looked pretty relaxed and calm. So I think if he can hold his run together, he's going to be incredibly fast.
In London, Lee Valley came 2nd, missed the final last week. See what he can do today.
He also got 2nd at European Championships. So it's a really good season for him.
The cool thing with Vit is he's just so happy, you know, like with his results. He's just having the season of his life, and he's just loving it, living the dream. So yeah, he'll be looking for something special today as well. So let's see what he can do.
I think we'll expect a bit of noise. The local commentators certainly trying to rev them up a bit, although it's not needed.
Yeah, the commentator here, Daniel Starch, he used to be a paddler himself actually, so he knows what the game is about.
It's a fantastic job in Czech and in English, and talks 10 hours a day without a pause, without a hesitation, and without a mistake.
I can even talk in French, like, it's really good.
So I'm pretty nervous watching Vit come down these first gates because I watched him training and he's so good. And he's a bit low on gate.
First we've seen is punting off the wall, which of course you can do.
But I mean, he has the skill set to definitely make up a lot of time down the bottom. Started working with Pitlark, coach of Vavra. So they're training together.
This is what it's all about. It's close, it's very close, just off the pace.
Oh, that was tight.
Well, he's been given a 50.
But they'll be able to inquire that on a 2-second penalty there, so
I'm not sure he's heard it yet. He's going to keep going flat out to the end.
You just see there that risk that you throw down for that gate, sometimes it comes back to bite you.
Well, let's see what happens to the 50-second penalty. His pure time looks fast.
So he's outside the medals even with that time. I think. Oh no, he'd just be.
He's not sure that 50 is a 50.
So you got Martin Hermans is sitting in third spot with one more to come, Schmolen, so it's going to be all or nothing for that medal.
Well, Smolen is 20 years old, but did win a gold medal at the under-23s.
I think there might be a protest on Vid Prindish because we just saw the slow motion and it looked like it could be in the gate, so we will have to wait the video judgment.
So if they take 50 off him,
it would be third right now.
He would go into third place. Let's leave it up to the judges. What a day for Michael Smolen. He's shown at a junior level and an under-23 level he's capable of it. He's, I believe, born in Poland and then moved across at a young age with his father.
To the USA, yeah.
His father was president.
His father, Rafael, is coaching the US team.
So he's going to have a big day in a few months' time in Deep Creek. Let's see, a big day today. But he's one of the first to go in the semis and really put down an amazing time.
He's usually really good in qualification. He had, I think in 2012, he was winning lots of the qualification run and having great times. Like
in Bratislava, yeah, he's well ahead of it.
During the qualification, but never managed to pull it in the final. And this year and last year, I think he got much better and improved his mental skills. And I think that today he could definitely challenge the lead.
Interesting, in London and Tachung we have completely different podiums as we're going to have today. So that's 9 athletes go for a medal in 3 events.
And he's having a good run, 2.5 seconds up, 2.42.
It's his to lose.
And this is really good.
And a lot of the American team elected not to come to Tartan World Cup last week, to come to Prague instead to train for this race. And you can see that it's paying off.
Dropping it a little bit low and picking up a touch, but...
Crucially, Hannes Egner didn't take any penalties and he was through in 87.
Oh no, picking up another one. I think it might be hard for Michal to...
Yeah, well, the time of reference is 93.8 to take the bronze medal.
It's going to be quite... I think he's going to go into third place.
Third place.
Yeah.
So unofficially, we have Hannes Egner as the winner with an 87.16 at flying time, 3.2 seconds faster than the second place.
So I'm guessing this is the first medal at a World Cup for Michael Smolen. You're not supposed to be biased, why not?
And I think Paya is pretty happy because she's doing the interviews for the Czech TV, and she will get to interview her friend Jiří Praskavec, who just got second.
Well, if it stays as we see, Hannes Egner was the Olympic medalist, and he's managed to keep the form going. As you mentioned, he's consistently finalist in the World Cups. Doesn't affect his positioning in going to the World Championships, unfortunately for him. But it must be great to show that he can do it.
Well, it's good to keep your confidence and.
Well, here we go. Here's the results as we see them. Hannes Egner for Germany takes the gold. Joris Piskovic Jr. takes the silver for Czech Republic, and Michael Smolen takes another medal, with Martin Hermans just missing out for Holland. But great result, and let's hope that helps his funding a little bit more. As for all the others,
it's wicked to see the Dutch boy up there in the top 5, top 4. It's going to be great for canoeing in the Netherlands.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good to see that they're getting better.
Well, tomorrow we do have more action. We have the K1 women, and then we have the C2s. So it'll be interesting to see how they go on this exact course, as the semi-finals are going to be tomorrow morning. A few seconds left, guys. Your thoughts on this weekend?
Oh, it's going off. I think Prague always turns it on. Yeah, I think it's a good race.
It's a good race, tough course, and usually it's a great show.
Well, let's hope you have all the fun tomorrow. Mike Dawson, thank you. Newman Newman, thank you. And Matthew Layton. And we'll see you tomorrow a little bit earlier for some more top competition coming to you live from the Troja course in Prague. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
zabrousený, úplně jsem o tom nevěděl, myslel jsem si to, pak jsem to tam poslal, úplně mi to nevycházelo, dole jsem byl pěkně kožený, ale to, co ty diváci zase vytvořili od půlky trati až do cíle, to mě prostě